But the generals hated Trump. They always hated Trump. Trump wanted to pull out of Afghanistan. They didn't want to pull out of Afghanistan. So all of the stories quoting, military generals who had meetings with Trump, closed door meetings, and Trump allegedly said all of these naughty things. I don't know what to believe because it's a he said, she said type situation.
So I think I hear you that it's mixed, but it's definitely not mixed, okay? I mean, it's definitely not clear.
Things are going absolutely buck wild at the Young Turks network as Anna and Cenk, Chunky Yogurt, by the way, comment to Chunky Yogurt, his expiration date for the algorithm. We like to have fun here, but yes, things are heating up over there. And even though it seems like Chunky Yogurt himself is moving more towards the right, along with Anna Kasparian, they still have many disagreements and they don't hold back. They get very emotional, as you will see in this crazy brand new clip. Also, keep in mind, if you guys saw my video from yesterday or 2 days before, depending on whenever I post this, a TYT host quit live on air. So times are wild for TYT. Let's just get straight into the madness.
We were talking about how I went on a bunch of right-wing shows and did some outreach and came back with some notes and what they agree with, right? And I wrote about it in social media too. The reason we're showing you
I want to point out that, keep in mind, Anna Kasparian just went on Glenn Beck, a conservative podcaster's platform. And now Cenk is even saying, hey, I'd work with Trump and Elon Musk if it comes to, or if they are willing to cut costs from the Pentagon. These are crazy, crazy times, and they're getting an insane amount of heat from their own audience. They are turning their backs on their audience in a, I think, righteous way, but their audience is pissed.
Donald Trump Jr. here is because he responded just now while we were live on air. So I'm going to read you my tweet and then his response, and then we'll analyze it. So my post on X that was from yesterday said, 2 amazing things just happened. First, I went on about a half a dozen right-wing shows, and they all agreed we should cut the Pentagon, prevent generals from working for defense contractors, and Edward Snowden should be pardoned. Second, absolutely no one on the left believes them. Okay, so that is a bit of an exaggeration. It's an X post, so it's kind of abbreviated. For example, do I believe that the right-wing hosts actually believe that and the right-wing populace actually believe that? Yeah, I believe it. And I'm sure several other people do. But the general reaction I've gotten from other left-wing hosts, influencers, et cetera, was, oh, you're crazy. It's naive. No way they're going to do that. And no way they believe that. Okay. And maybe you will still believe that after you read Donald Trump Jr.'s responses. But it's interesting that he's on the record. So he just responded about an hour ago, I'm all for this. So is pretty much everyone I know on the right.
See, it's coming from Donald Trump Jr. himself. So to have all these people try to say, you know what, this is not true, this is not happening, this is not what they think, here is the proof in his own words on his own account.
If the left doesn't believe me, there's probably countless tweets, interviews, and my Triggered podcast to refer to. This seems more like a universal to most Americans I've spoken to.
Yes.
That is the president's son and very influential, saying, yes, we would like to do the dream that left-wing populists have had for decades. Cut the Pentagon, conflict of interest rules, and then guys, take yes for an answer, okay? So he had one more comment. He said, only contention I know of would come from the establishment on both sides.
Yep.
Permanent Washington likely does not like a lot of this.
Correct. But they're not in charge at the moment, right? Well,
yeah.
At the very moment, they kind of are, but you get the point.
No, absolutely right. And that's another thing that triggered some folks on the left when I said, look, I didn't want Donald Trump to win. I fought super hard against it because he's that bull in a china shop and I'm worried about something.
No, because Chunky Yogurt was wrong, by the way. If you enjoy videos like this, subscribe, like, do it all, help the channel out. But let's get back to it. We are close to 50K, not super close, but help me get there, guys. Come on, do your orange girl a favor.
Some parts of that china shop, like our Constitution, our democracy, etc. But I am weirdly optimistic and hopeful now after the election, not because I'm happy that Trump won, but because the establishment is defeated. And the establishment is immovable. And they never would free Edward Snowden. They would never cut the Pentagon. They never do. They would never have conflict of interest rules because they think, oh my God, if we do it for the generals, maybe they're going to think about doing it for the politicians. And the politician, oh my God, how would I feed?
This is the alliance that no one saw coming, but it's here. We are the anti-elitist alliance. The people that are the populists. We care about the people, not about the bureaucrats. And that's why you see people who voted for AOC and also Donald Trump, which is pretty fascinating, to be quite frank with you.
My family, if I can't make millions of dollars after I retired being a lobbyist and a consultant and all these things. You know, look, here they are. Now, this is the second time Donald Trump Jr. has responded and said yes. And when I go on the shows, guys, it's not like I'm making them agree or this is the first time they heard about it. And they're like, oh, maybe. No, as he's saying here, we've been for this. You guys weren't listening.
Okay, Cenk, I have to say something. And look, no one knows for sure. No one knows for sure because no one was in any of those rooms where Trump allegedly said very naughty things. But the generals hated Trump. They always hated Trump. Trump wanted to pull out of Afghanistan. They didn't want to pull out of Afghanistan. So all of the stories quoting, military generals who had meetings with Trump, closed door meetings, and Trump allegedly said all of these naughty things. I don't know what to believe because it's a he said, she said type situation.
So I think I hear you that it's mixed, but it's definitely not mixed, okay? I mean, it's definitely not clear in Trump's favor.
No, I agree. Like, we don't know, but like everyone just takes what the generals say at face value.
But I don't. So like there's things that people that have said, generals included, where I go, credible.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like him. I mean, on the Steele dossier, we were instantly like, that doesn't sound like Trump at all.
Right.
Right. So we built up a lot of credibility on calling stuff as it is. Some of the things the general said sounded very credible. Okay, now again, we could all agree, disagree. They're not anonymous anymore. They're saying it on the record, but we weren't in the room. Okay, fine. But Trump did do some things that weren't just quote unquote naughty. They were,
No, the things he did actually did. He carried out actions that obviously were wrong, and we've talked about that, and we've disagreed with what he did. I'm just saying. Trump has always been, I don't know about his entire life, but in terms of his role in politics, he has said and pursued certain things that the military-industrial complex absolutely despises.
Yeah, so that was the second part I was going to get to. So while I think that he did do and say a bunch of those terrible things, in my opinion, but it is also true that the military-industrial complex hated him, and that is a slight positive, or maybe it's a massive positive. And look, here I'll give Trump and Biden credit and discredit to Obama. Obama had the instinct that he wanted to pull out of Afghanistan. He said he wanted to pull out of Afghanistan. He got into office, and the generals browbeat him. And they're like, listen here, okay, you're a young whippersnapper. You don't know anything. Us generals in the field know that permanent war will get us millions of dollars in contracts later. I mean, really important for the national security. What did the extra 18 years or so in Afghanistan get us in terms of national security? Nothing. Bupkis. What did he get those defense contractors?
A lot.
Like literally trillions of dollars, right?
Yes.
And the generals sucked off of that teat.
Yes, they did.
As they almost all went into the military-industrial complex after they retired, right? That's why Donald Trump Jr. said in the first response, we're already working on that rule about the conflict of interest. So that's terrific. So Obama got browbeat by those guys, but Trump said, no, we're pulling out of Afghanistan, did the original deal, and I gave him credit for that because we only care about policy. We don't care about drama and all that stuff.
Right.
And then Biden actually did pull us out of Afghanistan. That's a thing I give him credit for, as sloppy as it was, right? So guys, bottom line is, if they're saying they're going to do it, great, encourage them, and then let's see if they do it or not. And if they don't do it, hold them accountable. What's the hard part, right? And if they do it, can we be fair enough to give credit where credit is due? And here we will.
The truth is this, guys. Yes, Chunky Yogurt is changing his tune in a good way. I think it's a very genuine way. Him and Anna admitting that they were wrong about Trump and right-wingers in general. But his audience is going to be pissed. And that's why the TYT audience is still pissed at him and Anna. How can they sustain their TYT empire if their audience is pissed? So we'll have to just keep up with that. It will be very interesting to see. Only time will tell. If you made it to the end of the video, comment an orange heart for the algorithm. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.